Hello, it's Troy-Nicole, and today we will be talking about first pages, and particularly what you can put in them and some tips and tricks to get started on your journaling journey. Y'all know that I always have to have my handy dandy notebook in here, okay? Just call me Steve because I need her to get things done. We want to start a first page, but I genuinely think that one of the downsides to first pages, and what I get people to tell me all the time, is that they don't want to mess up their first page. I feel like the first page feels a bit more than it actually is, because you're starting a journey, for lack of a better word. Like, I feel like that sounds corny, but in a way you kind of are starting this journey of making a habit, making a hobby out of journaling. Any type of journaling you do, bullet journaling, creative journaling, junk journaling, scrapbooking, whatever you end up doing, you are starting a journey with it. And whether or not you keep doing it or you give it up at some point, you want the start of it to be perfect in a way, and nothing is wrong with that. Like, I'm not saying that you should not want it to be perfect, because listen, you're gonna see that there's a couple journals in here that have no first page that I just skipped over because I was just like, you know what, I'm thinking way too hard on this, I will come back to it, and then I don't come back to it, which is so me. But you don't need it to be perfect. What you need is it to be you. Oh my god, I sounded so corny. That sounds, oh my god, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. I don't want to sound corny, but you need to take all of the pressure off of this journal. I said this in my 1 line a day video, but I think a lot of times we put a bit more emphasis on things that really aren't that big of a deal, or that don't need that much of an importance than we're giving it, because you can literally make your first page a bunch of stickers, which I have done. You can literally just write your name and move on. It really doesn't matter what you choose to do with it, as long as you enjoy it. But I think the problem here is that because we're so used to seeing what people's journals look like online, and we kind of romanticize what we're seeing, we end up wanting to romanticize our own things. And the problem with that, I feel, is that I think it's easy to romanticize other people's lives and ignore that you can romanticize your own. So listen, I am a romanticized girly, okay? I will romanticize the hell out of anything. I romanticized my whole life in 2023, and I ended up with this. I don't think I've ever had a journal be this obnoxious. Like, do y'all see this? I'm sure there's bigger journals than this, but it drives me crazy. Like, whenever I see this, I'm like, girl, you had a good 2023. But I'm not gonna lie, a big part of that is because I feel like with that journal, which is very different than my journals now and even the journals before it, is that I kind of cut off all types of rules and expectations. Like, I threw them out the window. And when I did that, I realized that I was slowly finishing this journal, because I think it took me like all year to finish it. I don't think I finished that journal until October of 2023, and I started it in January, which is funny because now I finish journals in like 3 to 4 months, if that long, because that sounds kind of long in comparison to what I normally do. Now, this isn't a rat race. You do not need to go super fast, okay? But all I'm saying is that because I kind of just ignored what I thought journaling should look like, or what I guess society perceived a hobby should be, it made me have way more fun with this, to the point where I have a bunch of finished journals in front of me, but I don't think I love any of them as much as I love this one. And I say all that to say is that there is way too much expectation for that first page and for the last page, and honestly for in the middle too. But I feel like when you're starting, you want everything to be perfect. Okay, I think I've told you guys the story before, but my mom used to always say that everything starts on Monday. My best friend, who's like my mom and dad's fourth daughter, she always jokes that when she's trying something new that she's gonna start Monday, because my mom used to say that. My mom would be like, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna start losing weight on Monday. Oh, it's fine, I'm gonna give up tequila on Monday. Like, she'd say that all the time. It would crack us up, to the point where me and her, whenever we're talking, we'll be like, I'm gonna be like my mama, I'm just gonna start on Monday. And then we know we're not gonna start on Monday. My point is, my mom put emphasis on Monday because she wanted a fresh start. She wanted to restart all of the things that she'd already been doing that she could in retrospect restart on a Wednesday if she really wanted to. And I think what it comes down to is that when you restart, it feels like you are going to accomplish it this time. I feel like at the end of the day, you're focusing on the motivation to start a new hobby, to perfect this romanticized version of journaling, of having this hobby. You're taking a hobby that should be fun, it should be chill, it should be whatever, and you're making it into a chore. You're making it into a job. You're acting like you're going to work, and if you don't finish it, you're going to get fired. There's no boss, there is no secretary. You don't have to walk up to your boss's secretary and say that you have to tell them that you did not finish this work that they asked you to do 100 years ago. That is not what we're doing. We're sitting down, we're chilling, we're journaling, we're enjoying ourselves, we're trying something new. We're not at work, okay? We're not at school. You know, you didn't just spend $80,000 to go to college. You did not do that. You bought a $10 journal, maybe more, I don't know. I don't buy journals that expensive anymore. Anymore. You may have spent $10 to $20 on the journal, or maybe you're balling out and you spent $60. You did not spend $80,000 on a 4-year degree. You spent 20 bucks on a journal you can finish now or in 10 years. It literally is all dependent on you. But if you keep on putting parameters on this one page, meaning, oh, if I don't finish this one page, or if I don't do this one page how I see it in my mind or how I see it on social media, then I'm not going to start it. You will never enjoy any hobby, which I know it's easier said than done, because I sometimes see people's journals and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't post mine anymore. But the truth is that it's not that serious, honestly. And I like my journals. I like how ridiculous some of them look. I like how messy some of them look. I even kind of like how a lot of my journals have no first page, because I think that's a story within itself. Like, I would love to go back to me at that point, overthinking and just telling myself, girl, it's not that big of a deal, just move on and go. So that's just my thought process on it, and my little tip before we get into what's in all of these journals that I don't feel like putting back up, and they may sit on my desk for the next 6 years. But anyway, let's get into the rest of the video. I can get off my penny proud soapbox now. So before we look into my journals and you see what I've done or have not done, because again, I'm going to show you guys the ones that I'm not proud of, the ones that I have a blank page for, and I'm sure there's a lot. If there's not a lot, then it's just because I did not take them out of that bucket over there, because there's like 30 journals in it and I did not want to. So here's the thing. You can go about first pages one of two ways. The first way, you can make it a first page, like a true first page, where it's an intro to your journal. So you can do things that are kind of specific to a journal first page, where you do like a Polaroid and then like an about me section. You can also do an author's note or a prologue, where you basically talk about, either in the prologue sense, like, you know, past tense, like you speak on how your life has been or how it's been going, or you can do an author's note and you can talk about how you want this journal to be, how you want it to look, what you hope and what you intend it to be. So like making it kind of like an intentions page. You could also do like a vision board. I've done that. So if you're starting it out in July and you're like, you know what, I want to make a vision board for the whole month since I'm starting it this month, you can make it for that. Or if maybe some people do vision boards like 3 times a year. So if you have a vision board that you want to do in October for the rest of the year, you can do that as well. In the past, I've done like a full about me where it's no pictures or anything, and it's just a list of things about myself that I just talk about, where I'm like, I don't know, maybe I said my favorite show when I was a kid was Clifford. And you just list a bunch of facts about yourself, and then maybe at the end when you're done with the journal, you can list if those facts are still true, or you can vice versa post stuff that is true at that time. On the other end, what you can do is treat it like any other page. So don't treat it like a first page, and treat it like it's the middle of your journal. So that means if you want to make a post about a song you really like, your playlist, your ins and outs, maybe you went to go see a play, maybe it's your birthday, maybe you want to do a scrapbook page, maybe you want to dedicate the whole page to an outing you went with your friends, or maybe your journal is a K-pop journal and you just want to do your first K-pop spread, your first anime spread. Maybe you want to do a junk journal spread and everything is just a bunch of junk on one page. Or you can do what I do in a lot of my journals, because I consider my journals all creative journals. I only have like 2 that are, I think, fall under the whole junk journal category, but most of mine are creative journals. So if you want to do a creative journal page, maybe you just do a really creative, cool, fun art page, or maybe you mix mediums, maybe you want to paint on the page, and just treat it like any other page. Now, I like to do this, especially when I'm overthinking, because I feel like if I take that phrase out of context, like if I just remove first page from my brain when I'm starting this journal, then it may be easier for you to just go about it and move on from it. So I'm going to give you guys an example with one of these journals. I'm not going to show you all of them right now because that'll be after this, but this is a sketchbook that I bought in, I almost said high school, in college. I want to say like my freshman year or my sophomore year. So for this one, I didn't give it a intro page. I just started out any page like I did at that time. So this is kind of a creative journal. As you can see, it's just a bunch of fun stuff that I do in here. And instead of making it anything, I literally just made a normal page. And written down, I think, are song lyrics. It says, "In the middle of this ocean, one lonely whale cries." This is the lyrics to 𝚗𝚘𝚖𝚎. How I know that? That is my song. And I see BTS on there. So instead of going about it like a lot of my other journals where I post a picture of myself, I talk about myself or something about my life, I just started it. I was in my brain, I probably wasn't thinking anything of it, and just said, girl, just start your journal and move on. Now, in my opinion, if you are putting a bit too much stake in what a first page should look like or how it should be, then this is a great way to just kind of counteract that. And that is to make it like every other page that you have. So if you want to do a Spotify Wrapped, if you want to do your on repeat or your day list for Spotify, do that. But I feel like anything could be a first page. It doesn't necessarily have to be about you. It doesn't have to start off in the beginning of the year or the end of the year. It doesn't have to be around your birthday. It can be anything you want it to be. So I feel like once you give yourself a little bit of a parameter, so do you want it to be like a true first page, kind of a centered around you first page, or would you rather just go ahead and start the journal and act like you would do any other page? So I feel like the first and the last pages are the pages where you, in your brain, you're kind of thinking it has to be a certain way. So instead of thinking that way, you can just start the journal like you would any other time. Pretend that first page is page number 29, page number 48. Because those pages, you're probably not putting as much emphasis on your journal page as you do the first and last page. There is a journal, I don't know where it is, and I don't know which one it is because I have so many, that I hate the last page for. Okay, I'm gonna assume I don't have it with me, but there is one page that I did and I think it's so hideous. If I find it, I'll post a picture of it in here. But anyway, I hope those tips helped. And now we're going to get into all of my journals and you're gonna see what each one of them looked like that are here, because again, I'm not trying to go find all the journals. So this one is my 2024 journal. So I finished this one, I don't know, I want to say around this time last year. And my front page is very simple. It's just a picture of me in Disney World. I want to say in 2019. I just wrote a bunch of stuff. Like I wrote my name. I did a little quote. It says, "This is what happiness looks like." I put Q2 for like Q2. I put when I started it, what year this photo was taken, and then I just kind of decorated it, nothing big. And then as the actual first page, I don't have anything there. That's kind of funny. Sometimes I will tell myself that I'm gonna come back and do a first page when I'm like overthinking it, but on this day I did not, so I didn't do it. And I did finish this one. I just never went back and did it because I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is the same journal. I think it's from the same year, but I believe it's the first journal that I ended up doing. For my first page, I did a little vision board for 2024. And I think it actually came out really cute. I wish I would have fixed the coloring for these sprockets, because the sprocket, I found a way to like fix the color being pinkish orange, but I didn't do it this time. But anyway, I did a vision board this day. Okay, this one is an old one, I want to say from college. So it's not 100% finished. So the first page on this one, it looks like a bunch of facts about me, and I put that I started it at 8:55 p.m. on September 24th, 2016. And it says, number 1, I love the color blue. Number 2, my dog's named after a soap opera character, as well as Jackie from That 70s Show. So my dog is named Jax, which is from General Hospital, because at the time, he was one of my favorite characters, Jasper Jax. So I named Jackie like her shorted name, Jax, J-A-X, even though his name is not J-A-X. It's definitely Jacks, but I named her Jax after that. But she's Jackie because I used to say that her attitude was kind of like Jackie from that '70s show. Like she was very like it girl. So she's Jackie from that '70s show / Jax from General Hospital. If you know, you know. I said if I had superpowers, I'd want to fly. Then I drew like some birds. Number 4, this Sakura jelly pen is my absolute fave pen on earth. Then I drew like a little bear. My favorite song is probably Days Like This by Van Morrison. That's still kind of true. My college major is English. That is still true. I graduated. If I could only wear one thing without being uncomfortable, I'd wear giant sweaters. The happiest time for me is always October, November, and December. One day I can't read. One day I want to own a bunny and name it Moana. I don't know why Moana, that's so random. My favorite Bible verse is Mark 5:36, and I just wrote like who am I for like a little about me. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys this journal. This one's kind of chaotic, but that's what I wrote for this one. So this is a journal that I started in college, but I never used it but like maybe 2 times. And then the first page I just wrote, what did I say? Oh, I just wrote like a little note to myself and you know how my year was going. I put a picture for once. I put a picture that was the same year as me starting this, and I just kind of decorated it. I really love this page. I think it's really cute. This is an insert to one of my traveler's notebooks. I made this insert and I just decorated it. This was from March 2020, and the first page I was very chill about it. I just put a picture of me, and I was in my, I want to say second to last or last year of college. This was me at Disney World in 2019, so that's actually incorrect. No, that's right. I just used the old picture again. But I just put new journal, and I put my stats that I was 24. I was in my last year of college, and I was still an English major. And then I put this as my second insert in the traveler's notebook that I used. This one y'all seen before. This is my little diary, and the official first page I just kind of did one part of it being a lot of stickers and a lot of quotes on it, and then I just reflected on turning 29 because I'm in my last year of my 20s, and I started to start journals every year of my birthday. So that's what this one is. Moving on to my little pocket moleskin, my little baby. So this is something else you can do. I started this one around my birthday when I turned 28. I did the same thing where I posted a picture of myself from that day, talked about that day, and a little bit about just my year, and then I have a picture of my godson. So you can always do that too. You could put a picture of someone you really care about in there. I always do that when I don't have anything else to write. So moving on to my A5 Midori, this one I am using currently, and the first page I said prologue, but I don't know why I called it that. I meant author's note, but call it whatever you want, whether you want to call it a prologue or an author's note. And basically all I did was make a little note about my intentions for this journal and for the year. So what I want this journal to be about, what I want to go forward and express in this journal is written right here, and I kind of just decorated it very lightly. And I think this is just a fun way to kind of put in there what you want and how you want this journal to look, and then at the end of you finishing it, you kind of look back on it to see if you cultivated the exact journey you wanted to in your journal. So I enjoyed doing that one as well. Okay, I picked out this one, but I'm more than positive the first page is not in here. Oh, it is in here. I'm lying. So this is my Totoro journal. I got it from a Japanese stationery store in Houston, and the first page is literally nothing special. It's just a picture of a road in Maryland, some stickers, one of my favorite anime characters / manga characters, and that's about it. I don't think you need to go all out. I don't think you need to write stuff. I don't think you need to do a lot of things when it comes to your first page. You just need to have fun with it. So moving on to my hobo, the first page, I literally just put one sticker from one of my favorite coffee shops in Maryland. It's called Vigilante Coffee if you're in Maryland, or if you go to Maryland, or if you live anywhere in a DMV. I put a little quote, and it says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it," which I'm pretty sure is the Bible verse. And then I just drew some stars. Again, very minimal, very chill, nothing too big. I have so many journals. So for this one, I actually just ended up doing a collage of stuff. I put a picture of me from, I don't know, 2017, going to the rodeo with my family, a bunch of stickers, some photo cards. Again, I always do, I put when I started it. I forgot to put when I finished it, but whatever. And that was that first page. Do this one, which is my passport sized traveler's notebook. So this one I don't have, again, intro page. I did not do anything, and I just skipped it and went and started using this insert. And then this one, which is one that I made again, I did not make an intro page, and I just skipped it and I started drawing in it. I started using it. Okay, the last one I have here, even though I have a billion more journals, this is the last one that I guess I took out. This is my baby. This is the one that kind of helped me do a bit well on TikTok, so shout out to her. She's nice and chunky. I keep telling myself that I may do like another journal flip through, a more in-depth one, but that's gonna take so long, so we'll see about that. And as my first page, I did a diary entry with a picture of myself in 2023. I did like a little lipstick kiss with my lip gloss. I wrote the year and decorated it and just talked about that year, because I'm pretty sure I started this at the beginning of the year. Yeah, this says January 9th because it was my goal to finish this before I dived into any new journals. And that's what I did. I said what I was gonna do that year, what I'm kind of pushing out, kind of like ins and outs type thing. And yeah, and I titled it So I Love Me, which is BTS. So that is about it for my examples as far as my journals go. I hope this video was helpful for you, and if it was, go check out some of my other videos. And if you have any ideas for videos you guys want to see in the future, let me know down below, or hit me up on any of my social medias, Tumblr, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, wherever. Anywho, until next time, peace out, Girl Scouts.
'Cause I really hate you, 'cause you made me so blue.